hear publicly the results of the PennDOT study of the Philadelphia Street corridor, and the topic, of course, of pedestrian safety.
Yeah, pedestrian safety is certainly going to be the leading topic at tonight's council meeting. It's not the only topic for tonight's council meeting. There's lots of important work being done by council, but traffic safety, we know that our partners from PennDOT are going to join us, and we're going to start the meeting, I believe, with a conversation talking about the traffic study that was conducted and started back in April and finished in October, and we're going to let council know of our enforcement and education efforts to date regarding traffic and pedestrian safety in downtown. I anticipate there to be a back and forth of questions and responses or professional discussion between our partners at PennDOT and council and the police department or the borough manager as anyone sees fit. And then I would expect for there to be some public comment in the room. So busy day, though, all in all, here in Indiana. And Pancakes and Sausage, of course, has folks moving around and probably driving on some roads that they don't normally drive on to pick things up from the hospital. And it's election day, so we're going to have more folks out and about. So generally, again, from the police department, just a call for patience. Go slow. Watch out for each other. Be cognizant of traffic if you're a pedestrian. Be cognizant of pedestrians if you're traffic. Sure. That's where we're going to start today.
Sure. Well, that's a great place to start. Now, with the report tonight from PennDOT, would you characterize that as being in collaboration with Indiana Borough Police, or that you were a contributor to? How would you characterize that relationship in terms of this report?
I consider it a partnership. We will be talking together about the things that we have done collectively since April, and really I could speak to all the years that we've been in partnership. What I most want our community to know, and certainly again, a terrible tragedy has occurred on Philadelphia Street, so nothing that I say is meant to devalue that. But for the entirety of my career, Indiana Borough Police Department has been in partnership with PennDOT. For the totality of my tenure as chief of police, I've had firsthand look at that partnership. And it's not just a partnership with PennDOT on traffic safety. It's a partnership with Borough Administration and Manager Cepas on safety. It's a partnership with Paul Gellis and the Street Department on public safety. And again, the Parking Department plays a part in traffic and pedestrian safety. So a credit to Hank Kukula, who leads that effort. And so we've been in partnership with each other. And, as chief, if I could avoid every moment of tragedy or strife in this community, I would take a pay cut to do it. But I just cannot, despite everyone's best effort. We can't guarantee against negative things, terrible things happening. And so what we want to do is we want to make our environment as safe and as uncomplicated as possible, so that everyone using downtown Indiana, everyone, downtown being the county seat, everyone who's coming into town, we want to make this as safe and enjoyable an environment while keeping the vibrancy of the community. And so we always have to work together, and we have to just provide a best effort daily. And so why I say that and go back in that history is because our work with PennDOT, I don't want anyone to think this just started or that it hit the accelerator button based on October's tragedy. Mm-hmm. This has been something that we've been working together with. I would offer that it's been equal parts, and it's always been equal parts participation. We rely on PennDOT to talk to us about light timing. We require the police department to talk to us about enforcement. We need to work together with everyone to talk about education. So I think we're equal partners.
Have we noticed, I shouldn't say we have noticed, let's put it that way, that Borough Police are very visible along Philadelphia Street, particularly in the busier times of the day, lunchtime, basically 3:30 to 5 o'clock, however you define that time frame. Has there been a noted emphasis by drivers, by pedestrians to be careful about crossing the street?
Well, so, we're a community police department, and we operate under a public safety strategy. And we have a mission. We're following that mission, and we're trying to plug in everywhere where we can increase the quality of life in our community, where we can focus on things like safety, peace, and comfort. And so, to that extent, we have certainly recognized that there is a heightened anxiety and concern on our Philadelphia Street corridor, as there should be. So our visibility and our response, strategically, we're targeting enforcement and we're targeting education along this corridor. So what you've witnessed in the past in the past week or so, is an intentional heightened presence along this corridor. But I will tell you that we have the entire borough that we're tasked with keeping safe, the Indiana School District that we're tasked with keeping safe. So it always has to be a strategy.
Yeah.
What I'm experiencing personally, I will tell you, is that as I drive, I have noticed some instances where motorists are clearly operating with a heightened sensitivity to pedestrians. And I've witnessed other moments where motorists seem to be completely oblivious to the fact that anything negative has happened here in Indiana Borough. Mm-hmm. And so we're not there. And we have to do this with enforcement. We have to do this with education. We have to do this in partnership with engineering. We have to make locations that there is a sense of lack of safety. We have to figure out how we can engineer it to give it a sense of confidence and safety. We have to talk about citing and enforcing violators, because there are laws in place, and if everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, then crashes shouldn't be happening. Yeah. But we do have that component, and then education, which takes all of us. We all have to be getting the word out. We have to know what to do in order to be able to do what we do. Yeah,
you have to be concerned that if things slow down on Philadelphia Street, that some drivers will say, well, then I'll just zip over to this other street and zip through, and that could be problematic as well. But it has to start somewhere, and this is a good place to start it.
What you just said is an important piece of the puzzle, is that whatever decision is made in the Philadelphia Street corridor, the emotion of today is certainly that I feel is there more that we can do for pedestrian safety along Philadelphia Street, and what can we do? But to your point exactly, none of us should be closed-minded to the understanding that if Philadelphia Street traffic patterns are altered, it is likely that an impatient driver who senses that there's a slowdown on Philadelphia Street will use a side street, or that a regular driver may use a different street than they normally do. That's not inherently unsafe, but it will push more traffic into what I believe to be School Street, Church Street, Water Street. And again, not that there's a specific danger with that, but it's going to feel different, not only on Philadelphia Street, but in other areas. And then when there's an increased traffic in other areas, we may have additional concerns in other areas, and residents will be right to be concerned about that. So council, I appreciate everyone on Indiana Borough Council. I appreciate Mayor Simmons deeply in all of their efforts to address this issue. But I will tell you that just making a decision tonight is not going to, in and of itself, create the perfect environment. Sure. If I had a perfect environment to create, I would create it. And I hope that anyone listening and anyone who knows me and anyone who has heard me talk before would truly know that I care enormously about this community. And but there's not a magic wand, because personal accountability still plays an enormous part in everything that we do. So when you're behind the wheel, you must watch out for other people. When you're on the sidewalk, you must watch out for other people. We must not drink and drive. We must not be distracted. Everybody has to do exactly what they're supposed to do at an intersection. And then even more so, we have to take an extra step and say, if that person's not seeing me, I need to make sure that person's seeing me, whether it's a car or a pedestrian. If we're not seen, we're putting ourselves at risk.
Pedestrian safety certainly is going to be a part of any traffic situation downtown, but there are some high-profile events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. Veterans Day Parade next week. It's a Wonderful Life Parade in a couple of weeks, and those are occasions when police are on the alert for, yes, pedestrians, but for any number of other things, because those are high-traffic, high-population events in downtown Indiana.
Truly, we, these are Christmas time, and Indiana does Christmas really well, and the holiday season, and starting with our Veterans Day Parade, moving into Thanksgiving, and certainly It's Wonderful Life Parade and Festival. So large crowds create large concerns. And so, we're going to be plugged in with the community to mitigate those concerns. But certainly, in addition to being patient when you're driving through town, which we absolutely need to be for those events, give yourselves extra time. We, as being in the crowd, need to understand that there are folks out there with nefarious intent, who are intent on monopolizing on a large crowd situation, people being distracted, whether they take advantage of a theft or something like that. We all have to be vigilant. So the police department, we always have eyes on everything in the community. We try to impact as much as we can before it ever gets started. But again, we need folks to be vigilant. Go slow, be vigilant. Join us downtown. This is truly the best of what I believe our community has to offer are the special events. It creates an atmosphere, but we want to start the holiday seasons off on the best possible foot, and that requires everybody.
You would rather avoid the incident than investigate the incident.
100%. That's the best service that we could be.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, he's Chief Justin Schawl, Indiana Borough Police. As always, people have concerns. They should give you a call.
They should let us know. We need to be communicating. It's not a one-way street with the police department. The feedback that we get from the community, then we have to put plans in place and we have to address things. So really that's also an important piece of the puzzle that I think is going to be talked about in addition to all of the efforts that are taken or just the feedback. We want to make sure that we're being responsive to community needs. Even if it's not an absolutely emergent need, it will let us know what we should be preparing for in the near future.
Just a couple of moments left with Chief Schawl. We're entering into the package delivery high time of the year. So, porch pirates is a term that came into being just a few years ago, but it's a big problem, and you're quite aware of it.
We are quite aware of it. So the guidance there, students, when you leave your temporary residence to return home, make sure your doors and windows are locked. Make sure that everything is sealed up. When you're expecting packages and deliveries for everyone in the community, make sure that you get them off your porch as quickly as possible. If you're not going to be around for a few hours, see if a neighbor can get them off your porch. Don't leave things on your porch overnight because, again, there's a contingent of folks out here that in every community that are just intent on doing negative things, whether they feel that they have to or whether they feel that there's no other choice or whether it's some other reason. But criminal intent is real. And we just have to be protective of the things that we're ordering. Or shop local. That would be a great idea.
There you go. The opportunists are out there,
yes.
And there are obviously things that we can do to sort of mitigate what it is that they're able to do.
That's it.
Thanks so much for the visit this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
He is Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Council meeting tonight is at what time?
7 p.m. Open to the public.
There you go. All right, it's Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160.